Took a night shift job just so I could afford my stepson's braces. Last week he slammed the car door, glared at me like I disgusted him, and shouted, "You're just some pathetic guy my mom settled for. You'll never be my dad." My wife stood there, arms crossed, smirking, and said, "He's just saying what we're all thinking." That night she looked at me like I was dirt and whispered, "You're lucky I even married you." I got angry and slept on the couch, listening to them laugh upstairs. I made a plan. 2 months later, my WhatsApp was full of messages saying, "We need you, please come back." 3 years ago, I met Lynn at my friend David's housewarming. She was recently divorced, struggling to make ends meet, and had this quiet vulnerability that just hit me right in the feels. She had a son, Anderson, who was 11 at the time, smart kid, kind of quiet, but seemed decent enough. We hit it off immediately, and I'm not going to lie, I fell hard, like embarrassingly hard. David warned me I was moving too fast, but when you know, right? Anyway, we got married after 8 months of dating. I moved into her rental house, and things were actually pretty good at first. Anderson was a bit standoffish, but that's normal with stepkids, so I didn't push it. I'd take him to soccer practice, help with homework, normal stepdad stuff. I even started a college fund for him with $300 a month, which was a stretch on my salary, but I wanted to show I was committed, Edit, forgot to mention, I'm 38, Lynn is 36, and Anderson is 14 now. About a year in, I started noticing little things, like how Lynn would forget to transfer money for bills that were in my name, or how Anderson would only talk to me when he needed something. At first, I brushed it off. They'd been on their own before me, they were just used to looking out for themselves. But then it started getting more obvious. I'd come home from work to find they'd ordered takeout but didn't think to get me any, even though I was paying for it, or Anderson would need money for school stuff, always last minute, always expensive, and Lynn would volunteer my money without even asking me. So I just kept working harder, picked up overtime, started doing side gigs on weekends, all while Lynn was looking for the right opportunity that never seemed to materialize. Her job at the mall barely covered her personal expenses, but somehow she needed a new bag every month and salon appointments that cost more than our electric bill. Then, about 6 months ago, Anderson's orthodontist said he needed braces, $2,500 down payment plus $180 a month for 2 years, insurance covered jack. Lynn looked at me expectantly, and what was I supposed to say? No, let the kid have messed up teeth. So I took a night shift stocking shelves at the big box store down the road, working 40 hours at my day job, then another 25 hours stocking shelves, coming home at 3 a.m., sleeping 4 hours, then getting up to do it all again. I was exhausted all the time, falling asleep at dinner, missing Anderson's soccer games because I physically couldn't keep my eyes open, and instead of appreciation, I just got more attitude, more eye-rolling, more whispered conversations that stopped when I entered a room. Last week was when everything exploded. I had just gotten paid and spent nearly all of it catching up on bills, including Anderson's monthly ortho payment. I was driving him to school in the car I make the payments on, and he was in one of his moods. I tried making conversation, asking about some math test he had, and he just grunted, normal teenager stuff, whatever. But then we pull up to his school, and this is where everything changes. So Anderson slams my car door so hard the whole car shakes. When I roll down the window to say something about it, this kid I've been killing myself working for, looks at me with absolute disgust and goes, "You're just some pathetic guy my mom settled for. You'll never be my dad." I'm sitting there in complete shock when I realize Lynn is standing right there. She'd gotten a ride with her sister Terry to meet us because Anderson forgot his science project, and instead of defending me or disciplining her son, she stands there with her arms crossed, smirking, and says, "He's just saying what we're all thinking," in front of the entire school drop-off line. I drove to work in a complete fog, didn't even remember the commute, just sat in the parking lot trying to process what had happened, texted David who called me immediately and was like, "Dude, this is seriously messed up." But I couldn't even talk about it without my voice shaking. That night when I got home from my day job, still had night shift to go, Lynn acted like nothing happened. Anderson was locked in his room playing video games on the gaming PC I bought him for Christmas. I tried to talk to Lynn about what happened and she just dismissed it with, "He's a teenager, they say things." When I pressed about her comment, she got defensive and accused me of being too sensitive. Fast forward to me getting home from night shift at 2 a.m., Lynn was still awake scrolling on her phone. I crawl into bed completely dead on my feet, and she looks at me with this expression I can't even describe, like I was something gross she found on the bottom of her shoe, and whispers, "You're lucky I even married you." That was it. Something in me just snapped. I grabbed my pillow, went downstairs to the couch, and could hear them laughing upstairs, laughing at 2 a.m., about me. I lay there all night not sleeping, just thinking about the last 3 years, all the money I'd spent, easily over $50,000 on their expenses alone, all the extra hours worked, all the sacrifices made, and for what? To be their personal ATM? To be the butt of their jokes? By morning, I had a plan. Not some dramatic storm out the door moment, but something much, much more satisfying, because they might think I'm pathetic, but they're about to learn exactly what happens when their meal ticket decides he's done being disrespected. So for the last week, I've been quietly making moves. Separate bank account, done. Documenting every penny I've contributed to this household, in progress. Researching my legal options, absolutely. I even had a long talk with my mom, Bernice, who admitted she never liked how Lynn treated me but didn't want to interfere. My boss, Ezra, has been surprisingly understanding about me needing to cut back night shift hours for my health. They have no idea what's coming. Lynn thinks I'm just sulking. Anderson hasn't even noticed anything's different. But in 2 months, they're going to realize exactly what they had and what they lost. I'm not just walking away, I'm going to make them understand exactly what they're losing.